Hello, and welcome to Automat Live Coding. This is the stream where we write Automat. Automat is a visual programming environment. It's a visual programming environment, but it's meant for automatically playing games. It's a macro utility, kind of like AutoHotkey, if you know what AutoHotkey is. So in Automat, it works slightly differently to AutoHotkey. You get access to those toys that you can combine and they can do stuff. I can actually show this. This is how it looks. You get access to toys. This is a switch. I can switch this on and off. And the most used tool, the most used toy is this one. It's a macro recorder. And the macro recorder, well, the name tells it all. It can record macros. You turn it on, and then you can move your mouse, and it's going to record it. I can then play this macro back, and this is what happens. And it restarted itself because there was a click at the end. I don't know if you see. So the timeline here, it ends, but then it clicks itself again. It's very... this is a very tight kind of loop where Automat kind of clicks on its own interface. Usually, if you want to have a macro that does this kind of stuff, you would just do something like that. You would create a proper loop. Now I can do this. Yeah, and now I have a macro where my mouse makes this funny shape. And it's tricky to stop this. Okay, I can do it like. So we have toys for recording macro, we have some timers, we have tons of bugs. We have toys that can react to hotkeys. So this is space. Whenever I press space, this kind of activates. And recently, we've been working on a new capability called syncing. So this hotkey, for instance, it has some properties, like it can be enabled or disabled. I can synchronize this enabled with this switch. So this hotkey is now active. Okay, I will hook it up to this. You can see when I press this. I should be able to switch this off, and now it's inactive. Like, this button doesn't update, but yeah, we have plenty of bugs to figure out. And this is the point of the stream today. There are plenty of bugs that we need to fix so that this works more reliably, so that it's nicer to use. And we will do this. That's the plan. That's the plan. We are fixing as many of those quality of life issues as we can. Yeah. Okay. And just looking at OBS, I just noticed that the eye tracking stopped working. I wonder why. Oh, look. The lengthy compilation of Automat just finished. Okay, that's nice. So recompiling Automat it doesn't take a lot of time. Normally, but I was changing some things, so it was slightly broken for a bit. Now it works. Okay. And Automat is on Steam. I mean, it cannot be downloaded on Steam, not yet, but it is going to be, once we figure out all of the bugs. And it's also on GitHub. GitHub, Automat, and there it is. There are periodic releases. I am not sure if the last one worked, actually. It seems they didn't work for quite some time now. I will have to look into this again. It's so annoying that they keep breaking. Okay, I will fix this. Now, I do not quite remember why I have this thing highlighted. Because apparently there was something about pinions not hiding. Let me see how this works, if they hide or not. So pinions are those little gears that can be connected to other gears. It seems they do hide. They are not there anymore. Oh, here is a nice sync connection. I can combine this with a switch. Now when I activate this, the switch turns on and turns on. Oh, a nice way to do this would be something like that. Like a loop. So this is a loop, which flips the switch off and on. Oh, and the cool feature that we added recently is that those belts, they indicate the direction of data flow. So if I press this button, you can see I'm pressing this button, so the belts move one way, and when the timer finishes, they move back. It's not doing anything. If I click fast enough, the data flows from the switch to the timer. Yeah, and here was a bug. So I think those pinion hiding, I think this is done. We finished with this one. This is the next one. This is the next bug I want to fix. Let me take care of this one. So let me first explain this issue. Connecting belts to gear does not work correctly. This console. So the issue is that I can synchronize two switches. Works nice. And when I do this synchronization, I always need to drop the connection over one of those switches, and then the pinion jumps to the gear. Now they are all synchronized. And this is also nice. You can see that the belts, like, they're actually useful, this data flow. You can really see where data is flowing. Now, the problem is that when I drop this pinion here, see, it's not working. It's not synchronized like it should. So, I think the issue is probably located somewhere in syncCC. Oh, we have some changes. Interesting. Okay, I think the reason why I did not commit, the reason I left this one yellow is probably some unfinished code. Let me go through this. This is cool. It's also cool. I move. This looks kind of okay. This also looks okay. This is totally unrelated. Those are some nodes that Claude left. I think I remember. I think the problem was that I need to remove those toys from Toy Store. This seems right. So there is one issue here which is slightly concerning to me. When we render the screen, we have this packFrame function that walks through the tree of widgets, and we are kind of mutating this tree while we are walking through it. I do not mean this. I mean that somewhere here there is a tick call. Here, stick block. And apparently this can call one child dead. It can remove another child from the child array. Problematic thing. Those widgets will stay alive until the next start of the next frame. So we are good there. I think this is fine. I will commit almost all of this. I will actually split this into 2 commits. Okay. zlib and zstd, those are just components that the LLVM apparently depends on. And previously, I used to use the ones that came with Gentoo, basically. And it worked because I have static libraries everywhere, but it didn't quite work on all computers because some of the computers do not have fancy x86-64 extensions, so it was causing some problems. This is what's being fixed here. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's say this is done. I'm sure there was some problem I was thinking about at the end, but I do not see this problem now, so I am going to ignore this. It's all right. Okay, so sync belts, they have this can connect function, which is the main one, this is the important one. Let me look for syncables, maybe. Oh, I think here. We'll find this. So there we go. There is the default can sync, which checks whether the belt is kind of compatible with another object. But I see it's checking the table on the object, it's not looking at the gear, so the logic that handles connecting to gears must be elsewhere. Oh yeah, and highlighting. I think highlighting does not work. Yeah, it should really highlight. See, when I take this connection, it highlights all of the objects that I can connect to. Oh yeah, I think I remember what was the problem. The cable connections, they do not disappear. We also need to make them disappear. Very strange. Blah blah blah. Okay, all of this looks good. Let me log something here. I want to see if this is even code. What? Let me remove all of the hashes. Okay, and this may take a while. It looks like the hash directory was broken or something like that. There, it works. So, let me see. Yes, this highlight is not even called. Interesting, interesting. All actions have a highlight. I think maybe this tick is not being called. But when you think about this, I'm not really sure we should call this explicitly even. I think when a new action is created, this highlighting should be also updated. How does this work? What is happening here? Okay, I just have a list with all of the highlighted voice. so I can sort them. I'm using heap sort for all of this. I would like to fix this, but I would like to fix this in a very clean way. Something that would not mess up anything. There we go, look at this. At every frame we are doing pointer widget wake animation. Let's look at this tick more carefully, because I think the only thing it does is this highlighting update. Okay. It's actually the way that we store this is actually very interesting. We store everything as part of the pointer. It's not very intuitive, but it kind of makes sense. Pointer knows what what should be highlighted. What's relevant to this pointer, really. Yeah, it looks good. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, and I am back. And just to see, I want to see what will happen if I remove this wake animation. I think this should cause the highlight to stop working for the connection actions. But this highlight, it really should work for all actions without an explicit wake animation here. What's this? Oh, I see. Sometimes the line file names can have spaces. Ah, now I see. Hmm. I think I should use partition for this. But partition, I think, takes the first. There was R partition. Perfect. Wow. I can get rid of this print line. Okay, and now there is one new step in Automat build, which is embedding static files. I changed how it works a little bit. Now it looks at what's checked into Git and it embeds everything. So you literally get all of the sources, but it's very, very slow. I think it would be I think it will be important. It will be incredibly important to actually do this in a more efficient way. Okay, so apparently we have this new function called embed. That should allow us to include files. It's going to be amazing if it just works. It's going to be way, way faster. I have no idea why those options exist, like prefix, suffix. It feels to me like you could just put those values before the embed, and that should work. I think we are using C++26. Let me just quickly see if I can embed anything. What was the example? Looked like that.
Valerian331 just followed on Twitch.
Hey, thanks for the follow. So this compiler or linker level embedding, I think it should be way faster than our embedding. Our embedding is awful. It's effectively translating all of the files, all of the sources, all of the images into massive string constants. The compiler can parse this, but run.py. I think we need something like this.
Valerian331 says,
"Best wishes on your coding."
Thank you. Yeah, it seems the wishes are already coming true because this embed, it seems to work. And there are some warnings, errors, but those are good kinds of warnings and errors. Anyway, I wanted to see if, like, stepping back from this embedding issue, this embedding is going to be painful, but I will suffer through this today, and you will suffer with me. But the point was, I wanted to check how the highlighting mechanism works right now.
772 says,
"What's the difference between an endemic and a pandemic?"
Letters. So what's the difference?
I don't know, and I want to know.
See? Ah, there is no highlights. I successfully broke highlights. Good, so this line was critical. Actually, I'm thinking about your question, and it is interesting. There is some overlap between those two. I guess there is a cool website I learned about recently, Wordwell. Let me clear everything. Yeah, I am sure. Endemic, right? So those are the words related to endemic. So what you can do is you can drop a couple different words, and it builds a map of words which are in between and around those two terms. Maybe I should make this larger. Slightly too tight. Maybe smaller.
We need more immunologists, virologists, and epidemiologists, according to Sam Harris.
It seems like both of those are like exclusively medical. The only thing I wish this website had is that right now it shows you kind of the words in between, and between the two terms, but the vectors, they also have this fun property that you can extrapolate in the opposite direction. You can take pandemic minus endemic. You can basically take the vector between pandemic and endemic and apply it to pandemic again. And you can kind of see the direction. And so you can see words which are more pandemic and less endemic, kind of like that. It's hard to describe. That is a really cool website, by the way, that WordWell.io. Okay, I wanted to find all of the places where I'm changing the action. Okay, this is a reference to action, button down, and button up. Interesting, I am recording time using system time. System time is a bad idea here. Maybe I should change this. I should really be using monotonic clocks for this. Okay, and that should fix all of the highlights. And the connection widget doesn't need to care about highlighting anything. Sync widget doesn't need to, it doesn't have to wake any mouse pointers. Okay, after we get the highlight to work, let's fix this embedding, because it's super slow. Okay. Should be steady point. Steady now, yeah. steady is also faster. I think steady clock uses instruction, and system clock needs to call the kernel, or it needs to invoke some more machinery. It doesn't always call the kernel. Yeah, this is why you use steady now, because sometimes you want to calculate the duration of a click. And if the click happened during the daylight savings time, for instance, or during a leap second, or any situation like that, this timer would produce, this subtraction would produce impossible values. We do not have highlight. Here we have, not here. It's not even updated. I need to investigate more how this highlighting works, really. Looks like this waking animation is not enough. So I am iterating over each action attached to the pointer. And for each one I am calling this highlight check. So this highlight check should be called a lot. Let's log more stuff. Okay, something is wrong here. Why are we repeating all of those steps? I think I broke something in the build process. Maybe my R partition broke it.
Gone Mufasa just followed on Twitch.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Anyway. Look, there is this tick. It is being called. Also now. Okay, it was not called when I activated the menu option. Yeah. It was called when I press it first, not when I do this. Okay. I think I remember this replace action. I think this is what's happening under the hood. I'm using this replace action. So I have those gestures in the UI where I press a mouse button, I move it around, and it does many different things. And under the hood, it's using this replace action thingy. That should help. This is the way to do it. Yeah. There we go. Now it's synchronized with itself. See? Properly highlights all of the places I can connect this to. Okay, so that was the fix for highlighting. This is good. Good. It's good. Now, this embedding must be fixed, and this rebuilding of tons of objects. Let's start with embedding. So whenever we build Automat, it actually takes all of its sources, like its own sources, and creates a special file called embedded HH and CC. I'm not going to open the CC because it's huge. For each file that's part of Automat, like licenses, all of the licenses are there. README is here. Instructions for AI, yeah, everything is here. Everything that's checked in, that is. And all of this is generated by this tiny script here. Maybe we can improve those includes. Maybe they are not necessary. I do not see this. Oh no, there is an index here. We have an unordered map, which we could probably replace with a better type of map. But let's keep it like that. So I will remove those two headers, which we do not need. Everything else in the header stays the same. In the CC file, oh yes, content is going to look differently. By the way, path is part of the V file, so... Oh, but this is just string view. Okay, so it's cheap. It's content... What type is it? It's a string view, okay. Okay, I will read about this embed. I'm not going to use it just like that. H chars and Q chars. They're probably just character classes that are allowed within those delimiters. Yeah. I don't think this will work inside a string constant. The preprocessor can actually notice when string constants are present and ignore them.
What's the difference between OS X and macOS?
You tell me.
OS is probably an older term for the same thing.
You think OS X is older? I actually thought OS X sounds kind of cooler. Yeah? I'm not sure. I do not have Apple devices of my own.
That's why they say macOS Sequio, not OS X Sequio.
It's all marketing. You know, like which name resonates better with people. What's the difference between Bard and Gemini, right? The original name for Gemini was Bard, and yeah, I guess some people realize that it just sounds weird. I guess OS X has this, I don't know, sci-fi feeling to it.
A friend and I went to Apple Fifth Avenue a few days ago.
This is the biggest Apple shop, right? This is some kind of New York thingy.
I don't know if it's the biggest, but its construction is interesting. The store is the basement beneath a huge glass box.
Looks fancy. I was in an art museum in Malaga recently. And it had the same kind of construction. This is how it looks. And also here, like beneath this box, there is a huge multi-story art museum.
Nice, same concept.
But very different vibes, yeah. Be right back.
The MacBook Neo is a good computer in my opinion. Windows laptop makers are on notice.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. It's like a cheaper MacBook. Yeah. Absolutely. This is very interesting because always Apple was known for a kind of overpriced hardware, because for the same price you could get like hardware that is twice as fast from, any other manufacturer. I'm not sure how it actually looks right now. Did it actually maybe change? Some random post online, I don't know. Let's maybe check Geekbench. Okay, I guess multi-core is what matters the most. So it's at, I don't know, maybe almost 9,000. And what's the price of this device? Let's check dollars. The cheaper one is 600 USD. So what kind of computer can you get from Dell for 600 USD? Okay, so people say that this is about the same price. It's slightly faster. That was we are very close in terms of those scores. Also,
Since it's a mobile processor, its efficiency is high. Greatly outlasts Windows laptop batteries.
Oh yeah, yeah. And performance and price, they are actually almost competitive, you know, and if you account for better battery, they are totally competitive. Those. I think this is measuring CPU. If you probably account for, you know, hard drive and memory, maybe Dell has some more kind of, and you know, hardware ports and so on. But you know, some people do not need ports.
And good enough screen, too. Dell laptops at that price don't come with good screens.
600 is not that cheap. 600 you can get good screens already. Like not OLEDs. There are not many OLED laptops, but yeah. I'm not sure if this will work. I want to test it on a smaller sample. Okay, I will. Maybe Claude can figure this out. Okay, there is no constructor, unfortunately. I think just path. Let me see if escaping is necessary. Okay, it is implementation dependent. Great, great. But okay, this should be fine. And content equals. Okay, and we do not need this part. Do not need any chunking, bytes per line, none of this. All of this goes away. Also this goes away. And we need to close it. Okay. See if this works. This embedded HH should change. Actually, embedded CC should change. Let's see how it looks now. This is how. We have nice embed instructions. Oh yeah, it's messing. Yeah. I think I need to update my compiler. Oh yes, size of should be not no -1s here. It's not a C string. It's a regular character array. Yeah, everything works. And I think it was much faster. I didn't notice how much, but let me change any file. Like, change this with log and see. Embedding? Yeah, that was super fast. Cool. I got this warning that, oh, this is a C23 extension. It's also part of C++26, but my compiler is kind of not updated. Maybe it is. Okay, maybe C++26 is not fully implemented or something. I will just add this show me this advice. What is the advice? This one. I go to compile commands now. No C++20 extensions. And I can restart language server. And the warning should be gone. Yes. Cool. And the file is small enough that I can actually browse it. Yeah, this is so cool. Okay, and there was one more issue. The one more issue is that for some reason I am rebuilding the world whenever I change any file. I can change, I don't know, I will remove a new line here. And see, it's rebuilding so many files now. Or maybe this is more because I changed the embedded. Yeah, so many things change here. Let me print some things. No stripping. Okay. Well, this is what's causing the problem. Yeah. I could accelerate the build process even more, but this is probably not necessary. Okay. Now I can fix the actual thing I wanted to do today, which is the ability to connect a pinion to the gear. This is it. This is this default can connect. I'm just checking if synchronization is possible. Okay, so this one works because I get proper highlighting. So this code is correct. It seems correct. Yeah, this line is totally wrong. Because this end this is like a double pointer, this interface thingy. It has a pointer to object and a pointer to table, and in the case of a gear, there's no table. Of this.
Hotbone 1969 just followed on Twitch.
Hey, thanks for the follow. I'm going to probably mess this code a lot. This line seems to me that there are those two big paths that need to be handled. One where I connect a pinion directly to a gear, and one when I connect it to another object. And they need to behave slightly differently. And I can distinguish them using this casting thingy.
Humans first landed on Moon in 1969.
Hotbone 1969 says,
You certainly have had an interesting and varied career in technology, Maffle.
True. It's hard not to have an interesting career. It's like living through industrial revolution, you know. Computers actually started becoming a thing like long ago, like in 70s even, but very few people had access then, you know, to reasonable computers. But now it's very easy to get into, and, you know, stuff is changing. Like now with AI, you know, AI is another thing that's a big thing. Is this path? There is this path. What? Sorry, what? How is this working now?
I got my first access to an NCR mainframe in 1982. At the university, I would university 10 years later in 1992.
Huh. This is so nice. I mean, to have access to such a crazy large machine. I mean, we still have large machines, but they are not. We do not think of them as single computers anymore. Cluster, you know. Most people do not access them because most people do not run any large jobs. But if you have a data center, like in Amazon, when you schedule a job, it depends on the APIs that you're using, but you can kind of use this cluster like a single computer, like a single large computer. But yeah, a physical access to a university mainframe sounds awesome. Let me check the picture. Something like this, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody who works with technology is kind of like kind of part of this history. It's like this computing revolution. It happened during our lifetime. I mean, everything that was messed up during this period, it's entirely our fault. If people in 50 or 100 years are going to complain about mistakes, bad designs, like fundamental issues with the internet, it's all on us.
My mother was programming in COBOL while I was teaching myself BASIC.
Nice. I never really learned BASIC. I think I had a friend with ZX Spectrum. I think ZX Spectrum used BASIC. Yeah. There was BASIC on ZX Spectrum.
I had IMEX Sinclair 1000, the US version of the ZX81.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't use it myself, but I just saw my friend playing with it. Like, the very interesting thing about this was that I think there was a tape in there, right? And when you inserted a tape, the computer had to read the tape, and it was taking quite a lot of time. Or maybe I'm mixing up. Yeah, it had a tape. Yeah. Okay, this is actually already fixed. I just removed the line and it fixed all of the issues. This looks like a correct way to do it.
That is correct. So did my next computer, a Commodore 64.
Tapes were efficient. They have a huge kind of area to record information. Like I think even to this day, I think backups are still done on some kind of tapes. Okay, apparently not. try again. How can this fail?
BW in 1969, my mother was key punching for NASA when I was born.
Super cool. I never worked with punched cards. I saw one. I accidentally I bought a book a couple months ago. Old one. This one. And within this book, I actually found a punched card. Like somebody was using this as a bookmark. They are fantastic bookmarks.
It was for Apollo 11.
Wow. Wow. It's a nice timing, you know, that we have this Artemis 2 mission right now. Do you also work in aerospace or these regions?
I am disabled. I worked in entertainment production for quite a while, and then became a substance abuse counselor for the last few years before my health took me out of the workforce.
I'm looking at this book with the... I see this in the corner of my eye, and I think answers to many of my questions are probably in this book. I just need to go through it. Like all of the things that I'm doing, like 90% of them are solved problems. Like, people already figured this out. It's just sometimes those problems, it's hard to find a solution. They have been solved many times, but the solutions are always kind of published and lost.
I had every intention of becoming a programmer after I left the Air Force, until I took a theater course in undergraduate school. Life gets in the way of our plan.
Mhm. I think some things may work better when they are just hobbies. You know, programming in a job, it's... When I used to program at my job, it was... I still was programming after coming back home, but I was just working on different things, like things that I enjoyed. Sometimes mixing work and hobby makes the hobby less enjoyable. I'm not sure where the crash is coming from. I will need a debug build, actually. So usually when I have a situation like this, I can typically kind of see what's messed up, but everything here looks correct. Yeah. So this is passing, this is correct, this is correct. We are entering this if condition. Creating a gear. I guess it's fine. Well, we are getting null here. So we are making the gear. Adding it, setting position. There's really no difference here. Yeah, looks perfect to me. Okay, I need to debug this. So it has to be compiled in a different mode. Okay. It will take a minute. It's kind of cold outside right now. My CPU is my house heater. It's like 200 watts of heating. Enough to keep my room warm. Okay, those are just static casts. I think this cast is just static cast. Okay, it will start in a moment.
The AMD in my laptop does a good job of heating. I put some PTN-7 1950 phase change thermal pad to get some more thermal transfer to my cooling system. It made a difference after it bedded in.
Yeah, when laptops are used as, heaters, and they totally can, this suggests there is something kind of deeply wrong with this laptop. Okay, so this is a stack trace. This was a massive stack trace. One downside of heating your room with computer is that it only goes one way. You cannot really lower the heat. It's one thing I'm missing. It's okay during winter, during summer not so much.
Yes, you can. Open the window.
Today there is a lovely 5 degrees Celsius outside, so it works. I'm just thinking about summer where it's going to be above 30. Okay. So here is an analysis. Infinite recursion between add source and default on connect. Okay. Okay. So I was actually expecting segmentation fault. There's no segmentation fault.
You must be south of me in the US.
I actually do wonder. I'm not going to open them up.
Or in Europe.
I think the problem with the place where I live is really not that it's too much. I think it's too much north, it's too cold. But the problem with the weather is not really about latitude or longitude, longitude. It's about distance from the sea, because distance from the sea actually makes huge difference in terms of weather stability. The farther from the sea, the bigger the temperature oscillations. It's like winter can be -20, summer 35. It's like 55 degrees between cold and hot days. During the year. Add source is the issue. Add source. I need to go through this issue because the fact that this cycle exists, it's already... There should be no cycle even like that. There should be no... So the fix that the AI is recommending, I don't think this is the right fix. This situation should not happen in the first place. Okay, full sync calls add source, that's good. Add source. Blah, blah.
Yeah, but I am equal distance between the Great Lakes and the Atlantic Ocean. In winter, I can get either lake effect snow or a nor'easter, and sometimes both at the same time. I have seen 60 cm of snow in a day.
Oh. noise there? Hmm. So this is what's causing those massive snowstorms in New York, I guess.
You got it.
I'll keep this around. I'll check this out later.
This year was very typical. We had been having it easy for a while.
Yeah. Winters have been generally nicer, I mean warmer around here as well. When I read this code, it pains me to read this. Why are those two separate functions? So weird. Okay, I'm not going to change signatures right now. That will only cause problems. Okay, add source. Those connect. 171. It does. Hmm. I think should not be calling this one. In here. Need to do wake noise. Okay, and unconnect. falls back. I think that a generic piece of code that knows how to work with arguments but doesn't know how to work with sync connections needs to use this. So this needs to go through this code here. I see the issue now. I see the problem. Okay, this is the problem. We should not do that. I was just kind of thinking in text here. Sometimes it's easier to think if you can write your thoughts like that. Yeah, but the problem seems to be it's 171 or this line. Actually, no, it's not a notification. The job of onConnect is to create a record of connections. We think this. can just skip this. This does all of the work, actually. And there is still... What's this crash now? Incorrect value size. I really need to split the responsibilities between those functions. I definitely should not call connect here, not full connect. Connect is... I think it should effectively be an alias to full sync. Okay, okay. Okay, the problem is that this onConnect is kind of like a bimodal function. There are like two ways to call it. This is what's messing up with everything. There is one mode when there is this end syncable, and there is the other mode with a gear. Yeah, this last solution is the way I think it should go. Smash this. Yeah. This is what auto connect will do. On connect. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, and things work. And hook up a macro recorder. So let's hook up here. Yeah, there was our macro recorder. And this gear I can hook up to this timeline. Super nice. This is working. Yeah, looks good. I haven't fixed all of the regressions, but most of them. Okay, that was really helpful. What will happen here? Nothing. Okay. Okay. We actually had more plans, and those more plans was about fixing more of the bugs. Eagles don't disappear after objects are deleted. Yeah. Crashes. I've seen a crash just now. I can basically delete this object. I can sync it with itself. That is actually very strange. I don't think that should be happening. Yeah, I can do this. I cannot do this repeatedly. It crashed. A lone gear was deleted and it crashed. Okay. Why is it so slow? What is happening here? Compiling sync.o? Okay. Nothing crashed? Oh, that was Control C. Oh. Or was it crash? Anyway, I will restart it. What? That was a crash? could add this define. In the same way as this one. Whatever. Let's do this again. I think this issue was caught only because I was using debug build, and probably debug build did something differently that triggered it. Well, normally there should be no crash when just syncing to gears. Now, what happens if I delete this object? Goodbye. Okay. Actually, let me reset this. Let's do again. I will fix this issue with leftover connections in a second. First, something simpler, I think. I can synchronize this object with itself, which does nothing. And delete this. Oh, and there is a crash. Oh yeah, very simple bug. Actually, about this pi, I will add a pi constant. I think most widgets, they don't really need to do anything here. I think location will mark them as dead or something. Exactly. I think this is okay. Maybe I will do it differently. Like that. Okay, another issue related to deleting a gear object should be gone. Okay. Now I will delete it while it's connected, and it does not disconnect. I think I should just notify the widgets of the disconnected objects. And this is what we can fix now. So when I do this, I mean, now it worked. It is because they were not sleeping. It's very random, right? I think this deletion is fixed. So this is the gear widget. What happens when this is destroyed? Maybe distractor is being called. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Actually, maybe it should not be a distractor for the gear widget. Maybe gear should have a distractor. Exactly. What's the type of locked? Nested PTR. Okay, now deleting the gear should cause the belts to kind of slide back. Give it a second so that it stabilizes and delete. Yeah. And now it did not notify them. Actually, yes, there's a different weight counter. I was doing this slightly wrong. It shouldn't be owner. This is how it should work. You will just wake the connection widgets that are connected, not all, everything. Do a sync. Hold my cursor steady so it goes to sleep and release. And yeah. Okay, let me see if I can trigger more crashes. Do this. It's not a problem anymore. Can I do this? Ah, no, I cannot. And it's totally inactive now. It leaves a visual garbage. I think something similar happens if I delete. Or not. Thinking about this, I think here. I think I should add wake toys in here somewhere. Line 86? What? Okay. I think now it will work. Actually think maybe remove some of those wake toys. Yeah, from here. I think this should have the same result. No. Because this unsync effectively wakes all toys. Yeah. Or does it? Okay, I should not call full unsync. Definitely. I will revert this. Yeah, yeah. Because full unsync would break a lot of invariants. Okay. This should effectively call wake toys. What? What? What happened here? Let's try again. Let's try again. can do this weird synchronization where the object is kind of synchronized to itself. It's not doing anything interesting. Now I can delete it. And apparently, this line is so weird. But it effectively says that this boy is being woken up. It's called flip-flop state. And this is what must be happening. Okay, I'm actually thinking that maybe I know what's the issue. I think maybe the sync belt it's not doing what it should. Yeah, it's failing. Yeah, it's saying animation finished. Thank you, goodbye. And it's not calling mark dead. And mark dead is kind of essential. So here we should animate its disappearance. State do we have? Just to be sure. If all of the fixes I've done are correct, then this should not be crashing as much anymore. I should be even able to do this. Of could. And yeah. When an object has a sync belt, like this one, the object gets deleted. The sync belt complains that the object is gone, but it doesn't mark itself as dead. Why did the first one not disappear properly? Concerning. This stick is sometimes just not cold. I need to investigate when this happens. Simple situation, I delete it. We are getting this. This is waking the animation, and this is noticing that original object is gone. Maybe this was because the mouse was reparented? I think something similar can happen even if this object is on the board, when it's not part of the mouse. Yeah. The pointer is not the problem. I think maybe this is due to this tick function. I think this tick function, maybe it's not picking up toys which are gone. Yeah, I think this is it. I hope I didn't break anything, because this is... I think this change could have consequences. Things seem to work. Synchronize, activate, delete this. Yeah, I need to do it like that. I need to just force this to happen. Let's do this animation. I do not like objects just disappearing into nothingness. Maybe when this happens, maybe I can animate origin towards pinion. That would be fun. Let's see how it will work. Yeah, because when the original object is gone, I think it would be kind of fun to have this kind of belt kind of scrolling. I will have to hold those values somewhere. Don't use the same parameters as here, so period will be half as long. So this is our disappearance animation. It's kind of crazy that I can do such an animation in like 2 lines. It would be even less if I had a better function for a nicer utility function for this. Maybe I should add it. Actually wonder how I should draw this other end and how I should draw very short connections. This is maybe not a big issue, but it would be nice to figure this out. Okay, looks good. It doesn't look perfect, but it's acceptable. I can synchronize the object with whatever gear, and I delete object, and then it disappears like that. I will improve probably the way that it's rendered. I will have to play with the shader a little. Okay, there are more things I would like to do, but I think I may be out of mental energy to do them today. But I think crashes pretty much disappeared. So this looks good. This is good. Like, all of those things are fixed. The ordering, like, all of them, nice. Okay, highlighting works. One of fields of existing objects was exposed. Like, sync visualization, I would say, is almost complete. I will break it into slightly different, smaller tasks. So what did I want? I would like to yes, I would like to improve the rendering of this hidden end. Because it's not hidden. When the object is deleted, you can suddenly see that there is just, you know, the belt cuts off suddenly. And yes, expose window activity as a field of the window object. Absolutely yes. And I think that would be it. I think this window activity is probably not really that much related. This whole syncing business. Oh yeah, and I need to fix the position of new objects. Ah. What's wrong with my keyboard? This one seems to work fine. And this as well. Okay. Okay, so this stream had a very ambitious goal of finishing the synchronization, and we almost finished. But we'll need one more. So, yeah, this is the plan for Monday. And we are getting closer to fixing all of those synchronization issues. After we are done with this, we can go back to tray, so that Automat can live in the system tray and run at all times. Clipping when rendering connections. I don't think it's there. Anyway, the synchronization is a kind of fun mechanism. It's very simple. You cannot do much with this, but I think a lot of the things that used to be very tricky with synchronization are kind of, they feel very natural. Yeah, I will have to play more with this. Anyway, see you next week. Bye bye.